Right, our next circles lesson. Our title today is going to be area of circles. So we looked at what we were calling the circumference. We said that was just a posh word for the perimeter. And now we're going to look at the area of a circle. Right, here goes again with the pair of compasses. Wasn't so bad the other day. Let's have a go. So you need another circle. You might be doing it more sensibly. You might have a mug or something to draw around. Right, there's my circle. Okay, so remember we said that we've got a radius, which goes from the middle to the edge, and we've got a diameter, which goes all the way from one edge to the other through the middle. So let's mark on a length. So I'm going to draw that on there, and I'm going to say that that is 40 metres, that diameter. So maybe it's a lake that they're building in a park. So 40 metres. Right, and remember that we need to be using pi. So in order to get pi on the calculator, we were pressing shift and then the times 10 button at the bottom. That was giving us a little pi symbol. Now pi is just a Greek letter from the Greek alphabet. We use it for circles in maths. Right, so last lesson we said that the circumference equals pi times the diameter. Today we're going to be looking at area. But like we did last lesson, we're always going to start by writing radius equals and diameter equals. Remember we said radius is a shorter word, so it's a shorter length. So we've got a long length, so we've got the diameter. And then remember we half it to get the radius. Right, here's your next key formula. Okay, so the area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. So that looks a bit nastier than the other one that we looked at, but it's actually not too bad at all. So pi times the radius squared. Now we're going to have to remember BIDMAS in a minute, so just have that floating around. Let's write down what we need to do. So area equals pi times radius squared. So let's put in our numbers. So pi times, now what's our radius? This is why we write them down. For circumference, look, we use D, and for area, we use R. So that's why we write them both down. So now, look at this. I've put in R is 20, so now I've got a choice. I either do the pi times 20, or I do the 20 squared. Let's have a little look at BIDMAS just to help us decide which bit we're going to do first. We've got no brackets. Now indices, remember indices is another word for powers, like squareds. So we better do this squared next. So let's leave the times alone and then let's do 20 squared. So on the calculator, 20 squared. If you're using just a normal calculator, remember squared means times by itself. So you could type in 20 times 20. Right, so that gives me 400. So pi times 400. So that's what I need to type in now. So shift pi times 400. Remember, you probably get an answer that you don't like. Press the SD button. There we go. 1, 2, 5, 6 point. Now, last lesson we did one decimal place, so let's stick with that. I've got a 6. The number next to it is a 3, so that tells me that I don't need to round the 6. Right, what's my units? Now, I got this wrong last lesson, didn't I? So what's the units here? So I'm in metres, but it's an area, so I'm going to put metres squared. Okay? Right, so you'll see that we're going to do the same thing for every circle. Although the formula looks funny because it's got funny letters in it, actually, when we do it, we're just going to do the same thing every time. So let's do one more of these, then I'll let you get on with your work. So, let me draw a circle. There we go. And where's the centre? There. So, there we go. And I'm going to put that is, let's put 6 centimetres on there. So before I even read whether I want the area or the circumference, I'm going to write R equals D equals. So the radius is 6. So R equals 6. And then the diameter would be double that. So the diameter is 12. Now I always write that. at the start of every question. That just kind of shows the examiner that you know what you're doing, that you're happy with the topic, and it just puts your mind at rest as well. So now I need to write down my formula. So area equals pi times r squared. So area equals pi times what? R6, 6 squared. Now I leave the times alone and I have to do 6 squared first. 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. So then I type in pi times 36. Remember, if you don't have a scientific calculator, you're typing in 3.14 times 36. But we're going to press shift times 10 times, so we've got a pi times 36. Press the button. So I've got 113 point, and then look, I've got a 0. Oh, you can't see that. I've got a 0. Look at his neighbour, it's a 9, so that tells me that I need to round that 0 up. So that will become a 1, and then what's my unit? I'm in centimetres, and it's an area, so squared. Okay, so I'd like you now, please, to try worksheet 2. Best of luck. Please, please, please get in touch if there's any questions or you need any help, or you want to just show off your amazing notes or work so I can bombard you with achievement points. Please do.